welcome to the Starting Over Podcast. I'm your host, Edward Shelton, aka Dark Logos, and this is the show where we look at strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. All right, I'm going to make this video, and I'm going to say it's been a long time coming. But more importantly, I think that you, the remaining audience, is due this. So, going back to the origins of this show, I made this show when there was no tactical analysis of heroclix. The competitive player was anathema, and more importantly, there was more misinformation that was shaded around circumstantial information, and instead of just, hardcore facts. And I look back at what I wanted to do with the show. And the core thing was to inform players how to play at an advanced level. Because I got help learning the basics of being an advanced player on TeamSpeak during grad school in 2006, 2007, in a studio apartment in Tulsa, Oklahoma, talking to people I didn't know wherever they were, and they took time out to talk to me. And I look back and reflect, and I realize how blessed I was from those 6 to 10 nights of conversations on the HC Realms TeamSpeak server. I was able to use my background in journalism. Yep, I have a background in journalism. I did the campus newspaper in undergrad. I was the op-ed editor, assistant editor, which was second in command, and I was the first black editor-in-chief of my campus newspaper. I used that to interview players, judges, whiz kids, professionals, designers, people that I thought that wouldn't spend time talking to me. And as time progressed, people listened. And I was given opportunities to do a lot more in the community. And I've been able to touch way more people than I thought I could in places I didn't even know I could reach. Almost every major podcaster at some point in time in heroclix, minus the first OGs, Stephen Gouda, have some reference of interacting with me, not just on a competitive level, but on a professional level, whether it's being on a panel together or being invited, to conversations to talk about the game, how we can make it better, what's necessary, and even how we can improve our own products. I remember one time I was talking to Aaron Cantu in Tulsa during a snowstorm in my car, trying to help him sort out some of the things for his show, and what was important for him and where he wanted to go next. Uh, the pandemic destroyed a lot of things. And it also brought a lot of things to light for me. One of the core things the pandemic brought to light was how much time and money I dedicated to heroclix. Uh, and for transparency, I mean, I talked to my wife about it. I talked to my teammates about it. Uh, Going into 2018, 19, I probably, each of those years at minimum, spent seven to $8,000 on heroclix related activities, whether it's the clicks themselves, traveling, hotels, food. A good chunk of my income went to purchasing or competing in heroclix. Who I was as a person was identified primarily by heroclix. And I remember, early 2020, around February, and I get this is the religious moment for you people. God says you have an idol as heroclix, and at that point in time, I said I don't see myself without it, because a lot of who I was as a person was built up around heroclix. My team, for example, uh, me being a prominent voice in the community still. A lot of things that were giving me ties outside of myself and my life all came from heroclix. You can say, well, you had church stuff, and yeah, I did. But when I look at the energy that I put in for what are my success markers, what are my achievement markers, there is family, there's faith, there is some financial stuff in there, but a majority of it is being the best, having that Ash Ketchum dream of being the champion. And so God was like telling me, like, look, I'm going to change your heart on this. And I'm sitting there looking at my double Jason Wingards, which lets you, fully understand the date of the meta when this was going on. And I was like, good luck on that one. And I thought at the beginning of the pandemic, once we started, staying home, it's like, yeah, I'm going to be recording and cranking out these shows. But I soon came to see there really wasn't much there. It was the emperor had no clothes situation. That when you took away the rock tournaments and you took away the online tournaments, there really wasn't a lot behind heroclix. And I do want to separate that, the game itself, from the people that play the game. And a lot of people, anyone that's played an MMO for years, classic City of Heroes, crack addict here, there is a point where you keep playing the game for the people for a degree. As I became a father, let me come back. As I interacted with the woman that's now my wife, I interacted with various stressors that I had inside my team, which are pretty much resolved now. Um, my the things that were holding me on to heroclix super tightly started to loosen up. And once my daughter, I knew I was going to be a father, I was just like, I know we're heavy investing. Like, let's go, let's get this money. Like, everything, we're going to try to make dividends super heavy, my boys. Uh, whew, man, there was a point in time. Um, I was hustling crypto so hard on some nights, uh, trading, that I had to stop because my heart was like hurting because of the stress I was putting myself under. Um, and so the funny thing is, you know, as we've come back and started playing again, my team has only had more and more success. I could say my heart for my show has dwindled greatly, not because I don't have a love for the community or even talking tactics. It's just I understand I had more passion for the game than the game designers and people that run the events have for the game. And I know that sounds all arrogant as all get out. But when you're in an unbalanced relationship, eventually one party snaps, the pair into reality. And the thing that I mainly understood, even more so this year, that my love for the game was higher than the people that make it and design it, was the pricing for Worlds. I told them straight to their face. I was like, look, we're more playing for honor than prizing. For 2023, everybody that was playing for honor more than prizing. And you could say, say like, well, we were expecting stuff to get here at this deadline and that didn't happen. And, so we sort of hustled up what we could, and then we got the pushback from the community and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay, I understand, but I spent this much money to compete, to prove that I am the best, for the prize. Okay? I to quote Paul, to reach for the high calling. It's not Jesus Christ, but to be a champion. And I felt disappointed. I felt severely disappointed. At no other time have I placed and gotten swagged out have I ever felt disappointed. For me, and just this is me from a competitive standpoint, whenever I have placed in a heroclix event run by WizKids, I had a bad habit of not caring about my events for the next day due to how well I got paid out. Is that a minor humble brag? Yes, it is. My hungry like a wolf went to full domesticated dog. Okay? And at that moment, I realized this year, it's like, what are you going to do, whiz kids? You've had almost going on 2 years to get your competitive back going, but you're not. You've had 2 years to give us a more robust competitive structure where we are engaging and building up to worlds. You haven't done that. You've had time to think about what does competitive play mean. You have had great people involved, I can't say who, talk to you. And you have direct contact with these people. You've even had these people on your payroll. And you fail to understand, after all this time, what is important to those people on this side of the spectrum. Even so much so that after all these years, you've never really had anybody from WizKids recognize the team dynamic of their own game. Team Worlds is your largest, most popular event. You have people that dress in costumes, uniforms, t-shirts, all this cool stuff to highlight teamwork in this very competitive game. And there's nothing recognized on your website. There's nothing recognized, hell, even within the player's handbook, about Team Sealed. Like, that should be something. Sealed events, dynamics, should be something. But it's not there. It's lacking. And so, my heart waned again and waxed over. And I was like, I want to be compelled to be excited. I want to, give credit. Like, I can't, for a lot of things, I'm really not salty about a lot of stuff. And I'm really more like, I know where we're going. I know where we're landing. You have new people at the helm, and there's no journal of history. I know where we're about to go. We're 3 seconds from midnight of the game resetting itself again. The entities have returned. The entities bring the downfall. They are the harbingers of the end. Once you have entities, and I would say tack on mechanics, the game starts to crush under the weight of itself. And collapse will come. And collapse comes because after all these add-on things, which are very, very expensive, because they always are stripped away, and players now have to deal with default design due to a mandatory reset because of excessive power creep. On that decline, the game semi-dies because people cannot come down off of the plastic crack high in a healthy manner because there aren't healthy small cycles of power and decompression. So 2024 is, from my perspective, the last year of Starting Over podcast. And the main reason I decided to do this was I thought about just doing it last year. And I had some people I talked to say, no, keep doing it. I realized from a time perspective, that I had time for my family, time for my own professional development, time for my team, time for the young men that I mentor, um, and I'm low on time. The other thing that I learned was that when I said previously why I stopped putting out as many shows is that I'm becoming a student of the game. It's because one does not become sensei overnight. It just doesn't happen. Uh, I have great people on my team. I have some of the top players in heroclix on my team. And I'm sitting here thinking, listening, soaking things in, and I'm presenting things that are being overlooked. They're presenting things to me that I'm not aware of, and I'm just sitting back. I'm like, all right, who am I to teach anyone? I respect people's time. I'm not you all's coach. You're not on Phoenix Nest. And I hope you all have great ambitions for your own teams. Heck, I met, one of the guys, he runs a team, his homie got in the finals, the young man is his teammate. I talked to the young man, I think he got in the finals, his teammate, and he's talking to me about shirts and designs, and I'm explaining to him, my view of high fashion when it comes to heroclix and to my jerseys. I could teach that. I could teach you about running your own team and practices and all that, but that's at the cost of crippling my own team. So I'm not doing that. I've given out the blueprints for the basics for you to build your own team from scratch. You just have to do the research. People just have to do the research. It's not that hard. But I have to be honest if I'm going to be credible. I do spend time looking at the game. Is it 60 and 80 hours a week like it used to? No. It's around somewhere between 5, 10, 20 on a good week. And most of that comes for conversations and playing and play testing and, talking with locals after local clicks and looking at, Discord chats and stuff like that. Finding things that I like, which is rare now, and building and playing with it. But realistically, when it comes down to it, while I might be above average in a lot of skill sets, I'm a master at defense. And there's no one out there, realistically, that's going to teach you a full-on defensive view. And the problem is, in teaching defense, the moment any strong defensive position becomes evident in the game, is revealed in the game, it is quickly nerfed. So it doesn't even behoove me to teach what I am best at. Now, I've had teammates say, hey man, when you perform the best is when it's aggro. And I'm like, yeah, that is true. But I operate that a lot differently than most of my teammates do. And that's not a slight on them. We all have different skill sets. Okay? So, what's the view going forward? I think it's going to operate like this. I'm going to more than likely have some interviews if I can, when I set them up. I'm going to give sort of my magnus opus on player development. And I need to figure that out and maybe outline that a little more. And sort of like Matt Pat, at best, I have like 9 shows in me. At best. I might cap off with my last and final show being at Worlds. I don't know. Is this a sad day for heroclix podcasting? No. And the main reason I say that is, yeah, there's a bunch of shows that ended recently. And in all honesty, they were definitely more popular than I am. Definitely more popular than I am. Definitely at my stage of power. But I think, staying the OG, being, as Matt Pat said in his little video, shifting from young man Matt Pat to dad Matt Pat, and now I'm grandpa Matt Pat. I think I'm sort of, shifting in the community to, there goes Dark Logos to OG. And that's fine. I got to see the chosen one, Calderness, host Worlds. I got to place the highest I ever did in any event. I got 6th place in Pulp. Not 6th place. I think I got 4th place. 4th place in Pulp. I placed high in teams every year since I played, minus the 1 year I coached. I'm in the heroclix Hall of Fame. I don't have anything to prove to anyone. Like, I founded from scratch one of the strongest teams in heroclix. Like, I won't say my pedigree is unrivaled, but everyone that could rival it is already my peer, not my competitor. So I said it in the past, you go from starting off and you climb up the mountain. And you get to the top of the mountain. And you think, yes, I finally made it. I did it. I've arrived. Only to discover that there are other mountains and other people on top of them. And the journey is not over. So, this is not the end. But I think it's necessary that when you're entering into the last book of a multi-book series, you're aware that the climax is coming. And that it's necessary for closure for both the reader and the author. So I give you 2024, the year where we win, lose, and start over. I like to thank y'all for listening with me for 10 years, a whole decade. I didn't think I would be doing this long. I really didn't. But I'm glad that I've been able to do it. And it made me friends that I would have never had otherwise.